Hello, and welcome to yet another live stream. I just did one a week ago, and normally I only do a live stream like once every month or so, but Universal has been putting some information out there recently that it's very exciting. Just Universal has really been just stepping it up with their announcements and with just their attractions and then their lands and their theme park apparently, and it's been a lot to keep up with. A lot of information has been released both for Orlando and then also for Hollywood, and it's been just very cool just to be a theme park um, advocate and an enthusiast for just Universal in general, Disney as well, but Universal has just been knocking it out of the park completely. I wanted to do live stream. I don't have a lot of time today, so this is going to be sort of a shorter one, which works out because this is the land that was the most well known with just the different lands that they were going to be representing at Epic Universe. So this one is not a surprise by any means. This one everyone knew was coming to Orlando because it came to Japan and Hollywood and inevitably eventually Orlando in the form of Epic Universe with the land that we are getting, and it is cool. Like we are really getting the just probably the best version of this land just compared to every other representation of this property in the various other theme parks around the world. And that is very lucky. It's probably because we are opening a brand new theme park in Orlando that we're getting the best version of the land. And I don't know. I feel so fortunate with that. Because other than like Harry Potter, I was talking to Brennan about this the other day. Harry Potter, we got first, and every other park just like adopted that concept in their parks, and still Orlando still has the best representation and Rolodex of just the Harry Potter universe, right? Because we opened up Hogsmeade with Forbidden Journey, and it had Dueling Dragons and Flight of the Hippogriff, and then now we have Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. But before that, Diagon Alley opened up with Escape from Gringotts, and just the various interactive experiences and shows in Diagon Alley, and the Hogwarts Express, which takes you in between the two parks. It's such a cool concept that Universal did so well in Orlando, and the other parks have just tried to emulate in their parks. And we're getting a similar situation with Mario, but it's the opposite sort of situation where everybody else got Mario, got Nintendo first, and now we're getting it here. But because of that, just extra time and attention to the experiences that we could put here, we are getting just a fantastic iteration of this property, which is again not a surprise. And I think that this was something that was just leaked a long time ago, just in the confirmation that we were getting Nintendo. But in terms of just the specifics of it, which have otherwise been sort of spoiled by other outlets of media on the internet, Universal finally officially announced what Super Nintendo Land is going to be. So hello everybody, if you are watching this live or on the replay, this won't be a long video, but I started to do this, and I think I wanted to keep up with it because I'm a man of consistency and symmetry. When I start to do something, I want to just sort of follow through with it. So it seems like I'm just going to be not like breaking down the specifics of each of these lands, but more just trying to talk about them a little bit, just what I'm personally excited about, just certain attractions that are like I have the most anticipation for, and then elements that are still going to be a mystery to me, and what I'm the most excited to experience when I inevitably get to go to this land, because there are things that I don't know about these lands that probably many other people do. People know the exact ride layout and every single spoiler of every animatronic or ride effect in these rides, and I don't really care. But for me, I wanted to be a surprise, so it's just me kind of having this conversation with myself. And if you want to come along for this, then that is cool, and it's fun to talk about it. Not that I don't know. I when it comes to spoilers, I want to consume, and I've talked about this plenty of times. I want to consume the information that is presented to me by who wants me to see this information, right? And so there are certain things that I really want to remain a surprise, like the actual ride-through experience of a lot of these rides, and which is sort of I always know that this is ironic and hypocritical, that I'm a vlogger, that what I do is go to these theme parks and experience things for the first time for myself and then vlog said experience to then upload to the internet. And then people that may have the same opinion about that, where they don't want to be spoiled on a certain experience or attraction, watch the video of me and get spoiled. And I'd like to think that people just take that consideration into account for just themselves subjectively, where if you want to be spoiled, you will watch a video. And if you don't, then you will come to the parks and experience it for yourself. And because I absolutely consume media the exact same way, because I do watch theme park vloggers, and there are videos that I absolutely skip because I want to do that myself. But if it's just like a generic theme park trip, that's why like I try to go to the theme parks and just have a random, just general day walking around, having fun at the theme park, because it's not all about spoilers, or first time experiences on attractions. So have I heard about the, oh no, Bowser. Have I heard about the proposal for the Universal Park in the UK? Yes. I have not heard a significant amount about that. If it happens, then that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, and Disneyland Paris, which is already kind of been struggling anyway, will further be struggling, presumably, if they have competition. Not that they're like that proximate, of distances to each other, but and competition is great competition. So, maybe that would be like a great thing for Disney to finally like light that fire under Disneyland Paris. Not that they haven't, because they have been like working on that park a lot. Other Universal news, they announced Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, right? That's the official name of the roller coaster in Universal Studios Hollywood. So that's neat. That's gonna be something that'll be cool to just get to experience that and just to see that, because whenever myself and Burden have gone to Hollywood, we never did the animal actors show out there. I'm pretty sure that it also replaced the special effects show, or like the right, like the we saw that show one time, and then it was cool. We didn't need to see it again. It was just about how like sound editing, as well as like various other effects, just go into movie making. It was a very cool show, and it's actually one of my favorite memories, because they played the like breakdown of the like the Universal what is it called, like the intro tag before Universal movies, like the dun 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 bum bum ba 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 ba. That was Bowser singing that, not me. I'm a great ventriloquist. Yeah, but to hear that like in surround sound with like the swelling like bass, and you could actually hear the just individual instruments almost, and like the choir, the harmonies and the melodies, and just every part of that orchestra that made that song that is very iconic. That was really cool to hear that there. But now that's gone, right? Because that's what the coaster took the place of in Universal Hollywood. So just to go back and have there be like a roller coaster, like a new awesome attraction in place of things that we either didn't do or only did one time, that will be pretty neat. And if it is a really cool roller coaster, and Fast and Furious actually has some like legitimate longevity with a long-term like stake in a theme park presence in the form of a roller coaster and not a screen ride that pretty much everyone loathes, that'll be cool. Because as much as I just don't really care about that franchise, with 11 movies, they deserve some theme park like presence, right? They've kind of earned it, I think, at this point. So I'm gonna go and get into, I guess, just what I really wanted to talk about, because I don't have a crazy amount of time to talk, because I got to get going to work in a little bit. Which hopefully my schedule has been like, just like the past like 6 months or plus, I've had like really early morning shifts, really late night shifts, and starting very soon, for at least like the remainder of like the summer, probably into the holidays, I'm gonna have a much more consistent like work schedule, and it's been something that I've been like working really hard to try to get that. So it'll be much more consistently like 9 to 6 every day, and that'll be nice. It's my schedule has allowed me to do more stuff randomly, or if I get out of work like really early, because I work very early in the morning, I can do stuff at night. Or if I go into work like I do today, where I go into work very late in the afternoon and then very late into the evening, I can usually do stuff in the morning or early afternoon. So maybe won't have as much time to do that, but as far as just like my personal, health and mental development, it'll be great to have a consistent schedule and be able to sleep, because I don't sleep that often. So I'm going to be talking about the new world, because they're all worlds, right? Because it's Epic Universe, that was confirmed / announced for. No, it was already announced, but the details were announced for um, Super Nintendo World at Epic Universe, and I have some graphics here that I've been trying to be better about, like preparing myself with these if I can, because it makes it like a lot easier to just talk about it. If you're listening to this like audio only, or how I consume like long form media like this, then you won't be able to see this. But hey, if you're watching this now, or if this is how you watch videos, then you'll be able to see some stuff, because this is what was announced by Universal. So this is Super Nintendo World at Epic Universe. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? So it's been hard to avoid certain aerial spoilers, as well as other patent spoilers when it comes to this land, so not a lot of this was a surprise, unfortunately, for myself. But the trade-off with that is that there was so much hype with it, and there was so much adrenaline, or just anticipation for what this land could be when it was able to have this blessing of land and size and budget, seemingly. Because as far as I know, as far as other people spread rumors of, the representation of Nintendo could have been just allocated to Kid Zone at Universal Studios Florida. That could have been what Kid Zone would be now, which is now DreamWorks Land. So none of this could have been absolutely like possible unless they really like just extended out past the back end of like the current footnote of what Kid Zone is, and they took away the soundstage back there in the parade building, and they really like expanded backwards, because they could have done that, definitely, but just all of this fitting into even that space, we probably would have lost like an attraction, at least, definitely. Donkey Kong Country, probably. So the fact that we're getting that is, I think, the most that is what everyone is so excited about. That is absolutely what myself and Brennan are just over the moon excited to go and explore Donkey Kong Country, specifically in Super Nintendo World. So this is an overview of the land. It looks like we are looking at it from the sort of the portal entry, like to where we are sort of standing off to the side would be presumably the Princess Peach castle. So it's a little bit weird, because myself and Brendan have gone to Universal Studios Hollywood, right? And we got to experience Super Nintendo World really just a couple months after it opened, which was never the plan, but that ended up working out, and we really got to just go there and experience it within like the first few months of it being open, just that absolute hype. It was really cool. But as far as what we are used to with what Super Nintendo World is, this is a little bit different, right? So Bowser's Castle is off to the side, they're off to the left, and sort of up the stairs, which is definitely different than what we've gotten accustomed to. It like from our like reveal, we walked through the warp pipe into Super Nintendo World, through Princess Peach's castle, and then straight ahead, just right in front of us, was Bowser's Castle and Mario Kart. So now it's a little bit off to the side, so it's not like the main focal point of the land, but it still has like that tiered, those mountains. They're going to have the kinetics of all of the characters walking around, the Yoshis, the Goombas, the Koopas, the turtle shells, the coins, the, what are they called? Like the not the bombs, but the I forget the names of many things in Mario, but I will definitely be reacquainted with them very soon. But all the little villainous kinetics and stuff that you see in Super Nintendo World, that is absolutely going to be present here, even more so with a new ride, Yoshi's Adventure. So Toadstool Cafe is off to the side there too, sort of underneath Bowser's Castle, which that was off to the right for our experience. And I could be wrong with just how we're looking at this land, but I'm pretty sure that this is sort of what you're going to see when you walk in, just straight ahead. Has to be that focal point, which is going to be that mountain there, and then Donkey Kong Country sort of off to the side there, with Bowser's Castle off to the other side of it. And so Toadstool Cafe, we went there that one time, so that was fun. That's going to be a very sort of limited experience to experience eating there definitely with probably within the first few months to a year or two after it opening until like the hype of this land calms down, which it probably won't because it's going to be a brand new theme park and everyone is going to be here. Um, but the other attractions, so we know Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. So on Universal's website, it says ride through iconic courses, throw shells, and collect digital coins to beat Team Bowser. You've never experienced Mario Kart like this. So this was a VR headset experience, sort of a hybrid with a dark ride. It was very impressive, a little bit slow, and sort of different to get accustomed to with the VR headset. But as somebody who does not care for VR or screens, this was a very like welcome marriage of those two concepts of VR with a dark ride. Because it was just visually just very overstimulating and very beautiful, and pretty much just showcased all of this entire Mario specific universe and all of these courses that you'd experience in Mario Kart as well as other Mario games. So that was a beautiful ride, and it's probably going to be just a complete duplicate of what exists in the other parks, but I'm okay with it because it was fun and had some absolute rewritability. The other various like shops, it looks like that are going to be specific to this land, but that'll just be something to experience when the land opens. Yoshi's Adventure. So this is an attraction that we don't have domestically at all, and so this is it says join Yoshi's and search for the glowing eggs as you travel through Mushroom Kingdom landscapes in this enchanting family-friendly ride. So it's going to be sort of just a little slow-moving Omnimover dark ride. I have no idea, just like the capacity of how short this is going to be, how slow that it's going to be. You can see the little Yoshi is just sort of moving around the land. It does not look like it's going to be a very long attraction, and weather contingent, absolutely, because it goes outside, but it adds that kinetics to the land. And if it's interactive too, either with your PowerUp bands or just all the different animatronics that you see throughout the land, and then the eggs that you're supposed to apparently find, these glowing eggs, it'll be cute. Like, it'll be fun, it'll be cute. I don't think that I would be running to this ride on opening day and waiting, 2 to 3 hours for it, but I might be surprised. This might be like a sleeper hit with people saying that this is the best ride in the entire park because of certain like animatronics or special effects. I don't know, probably not. But the main attraction probably in this land that most people are excited about is going to be Donkey Kong Country, which is in the back of the park. So I have another graphic here for that, and I can go and move over to that one. So there's Donkey Kong Country. And so Universal did release a complete flyover of this land, so it's a little bit easier to sort of grasp how this land is, just in terms of just how the maneuverability of how you walk in between these lands, because it's sort of technically two lands within the same land, right? So it's Super Mario Land and then Donkey Kong Country. Let's see, for Super Mario Land, they have a description on the website. Battle Team Bowser on Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, journey through colorful landscapes on Yoshi's Adventure, and more. And then for Donkey Kong Country, discover the action and fun as you help Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong protect the Golden Banana and Minecart Madness and more. So, what does it say? So the main attraction here, the one that probably most people have been absolutely thrilled about, is called Minecart Madness. With Donkey Kong, careen through the jungle and help Donkey Kong protect the Golden Banana on the thrilling family coaster Minecart Madness. So that is the attraction in this land. It is another outdoor attraction. You can see these little minecarts. They don't look little, but you can see them going by, and the specifics of how this attraction works has, again, unfortunately been spoiled about how this ride works, but the illusion with this attraction is that you are in a runaway minecart, to my knowledge, and you will be jumping tracks and obstacles, and it will feel like a runaway minecart. This will feel like an Indiana Jones or a Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, but done with today's technology, and how that's going to work with this faux track sort of that you're going to be riding on, with the actual track underneath the track that your ride vehicle is actually attached to via this long arm that will enable you to quote-unquote jump a track or other obstacles, apparently. We will see how that ends up working out, but nonetheless, it's going to be very cool. And this is a little bit closer up of the attraction itself. You can see Minecart Madness, the entrance over there, and just this beautiful temple, and you can see the carts that are jumping the tracks there that again, sort of provide that illusion that these tracks are actually not on a track, which, as anybody knows, you cannot do that in a family friendly or any type of theme park. To my knowledge, there needs to be certain safety precautions in order for this to be like a viable attraction. And I don't need to why I have no idea why I'm trying to convince or validate the fact that these need to be attached to a track, because obviously, but it's going to look pretty cool, hopefully. This particular shot right here, or just walking up to see these mine carts jump across the track, is going to either look really cool or really awkward, because it's going to be very obvious of what the effect is. But there's only so much you can do with that illusion with theme parks, obviously. But when you're riding the ride itself, maybe it will really, really see like you're doing, or it will really seem like you are jumping this track, which that's the entire, point of this is that experience on the attraction itself versus like the kinetics of somebody walking around the land. Because that was something, unfortunately, that a lot of people did have problems with, like with the land first opened. Like if I go back to this main picture here, a lot of people bizarrely complained at Universal Hollywood because they said that they could see certain like mechanical, technical aspects of the kinetics of the land, of all these animatronics moving, and they could see what made them do what they did. And it's like, you need to sort of immerse yourself at that point. That's sort of on you subjectively as the person that goes to the theme park to try to meet that loose end yourself and just be like, okay, yes, I can see that it's an animatronic connected to this base that revolves like a bicycle chain. But you know what? I'm okay with it because I'm in Super Nintendo World and this is a beautiful, beautiful place. So I guess that's pretty much it with Donkey Kong Country back there in the back of the park, right? And then specifically there are another, like, there are more shot. I think there's this like quick service window over here, this plane like at the bottom corner of the screen. And then other shops and restaurants that may have been announced that maybe I didn't look too much into, because there are certain parts of this that I do want to absolutely be a surprise, and I'm very excited for that. And then there's the attraction entrance right there, which allegedly this will have single rider, so that'll be interesting. I doubt it. When the park first opens, that'd be pretty surprising if they did have a single rider on opening day, because that's usually something along with Express that I think that they try to lean into a little bit. But I could be completely wrong. They could be commissioning this very early before this park opens, and they could be ready to go with their efficiencies. So next, I guess I jumped the gun going over to Donkey Kong. I was just super excited about it because I need to backtrack to Yoshi's Adventure, which I should have been talking about with this graphic on the screen as I was talking about it. But you know what? I'm new to this type of thing where I'm talking as I'm showing stuff on the screen, and I could probably do videos too. But you know what? I'm still figuring it out. I wish that this quality was just a little bit better too on these live streams. It could be 4K, but then I have to pay more for it. So maybe one day I'll just be like really good at live streaming, right? And I'll have all of this planned much, much better than I do now. So there's Yoshi's Adventure. You can see the little ride vehicles, and this will be a pretty cool and cute like focal point as you walk into the land to see again that mountain there with all the little Yoshis going by and everybody walking around. And then another part of the land that's going to be very, very cool is that it's going to be utilizing technology that exists elsewhere in the form of PowerUp bands, which, actually, 1 second, I got right here. Ta-da! So these are the PowerUp bands, the Nintendo branded PowerUp bands that myself and Brendan got in Universal Studios Hollywood. I got the Mario one. No, I got the Mario one, and Brennan got the Yoshi one. And what's interesting is that it seems, not even seems, it's on the website, they have added it to the bands that they have. So I think that they already had Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Daisy, and Yoshi, but they're going to have Donkey Kong as well as Diddy Kong power-up bands. I don't have the picture that I could throw up here or put on the screen, but it's on the website. For Universal for their announcement of Super Nintendo World. And it's really cool, and I'll probably end up getting the Diddy Kong one because I loved Diddy Kong Racing. Diddy Kong Racing was my Mario Kart, personally, for myself and my brothers. So I love Diddy Kong, and I'm sure that I'll get that power band too. Even though they're expensive, I'll probably be using this one, presuming that it works here, which I really hope that it is because it was an expensive investment otherwise. Uh, so that they're still using the PowerUp bands and they're going to be represented and used here should have been obvious, but that we're going to be able to play the mini games is going to be really cool. So this is one of the mini games. It looks pretty identical to the one that they had in Hollywood there, where you have to like hit the box at a certain time to hit the shell to hit the Koopa up there, and you're completing these like little mini games so that you can sort of do the grand finale mini game with Bowser Jr. and his castle. Um, so that'll be cool. I'm trying to see if that was referenced on the website, but I don't see it immediately. But I know that they did mention it, like in like the announcement video of the land with the flyover. Um, so that'll be cool, just to again use this band again. And these lines are going to be insanely long to do this. That's why we very much so wanted to maximize our time with going early in the morning, so that we could, for one, ride Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. We could get a return time for Toadstool Cafe, and then we could. Well, I don't think that we did do any mini games like early in the morning. We probably came back for a majority of those so that we could do the Bowser Jr. Castle Challenge. So that was fun. That's just something else to do in the land. This is this world's version of the interactive Harry Potter one, so it's very smart. It's just a cool activity to do. It adds to the attractions in the land that are available for you to do as a guest. So it's definitely absolutely worth the investment to purchase one of these, or maybe to purchase one and then share it, and just for everybody to have a chance to do these mini games is really cool. And then you can use them on Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge and maybe Yoshi's Adventure too. So I don't know. We'll definitely see about the utilization of the bands and if they're more worth more worth it as an investment for Universal Orlando as opposed to Universal Hollywood. Um, yeah, I enjoyed all the little mini games there. The Piranha Plant one was a lot of fun, and I do wonder if they're going to have more because they only had a few in Universal Hollywood with the land that they had. So I do wonder if it's going to be like expanded into Donkey Kong Country as well, or just all of the attractions too, and just how it's all going to work, and maybe they're going to add to that experience too, just sort of as the land opens and just what they can continue to improve with this. So it'll be cool, and it'll be nice to continue to wear these in a new land. Um, so, all right, I think there's one more thing to talk about, which I sort of already mentioned, which is back in the main area, which is Toadstool Cafe, which myself and Brennan went to when we went to Universal Studios Hollywood. This is very difficult to get a reservation for, which we just got very lucky with that being in the land for the opening of the park with the early park entry, which I don't know if they're going to be doing that for a little bit because I don't know when they started to do that in Hollywood after the land grand opened. But it must have been recently when we started to go there, or when we went there just a couple months after the land opened. But we were able to get in just like I think 30 minutes, right? I think it was 30 minutes before. I don't think it was an hour, but we were able to just get in early before the park opened, specifically to Super Nintendo World, where we went directly to Bowser's Challenge. And I was glad that we did that because we got to ride that ride. That blew up into a multi-hour wait by the end of the day, and even the land itself hit capacity until the very end of the night. And just by happenstance, just seeing the Toadstool Cafe sign there, where you had to scan for like the mobile code to be able to book a reservation, which worked out because we got one for the very end of the night. So we were able to completely leave the park and go back to our hotel, and then come back at the end of the day, and then go back to Super Nintendo World specifically to go to Toadstool Cafe, and then ride Bowser's Challenge again. So I'm going to go back to this main photo now, just to talk about it a little bit more, just to give a little bit more scope of what the land looks like, or the two different lands, right, with the Mario land and then the Donkey Kong land. And you see that there are more pipes really to take you into these attractions now. So Yoshi's Adventure has a pipe to take you into the attraction. Presumably, at least in Hollywood, there was a pipe, I think, to enter into Mario Kart. There's going to be yet another pipe entry into Donkey Kong Country. Oh no. Hold on one second. Okay, I had to go get Arlo. One sec. There he is. Sometimes we have people that ring the doorbell and they try to replace our roof, like often. And we're like, we're good. We don't need our roof replaced because we rent. And Arlo gets all like, ruh, 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 whenever somebody's at the front door. He also ran outside this morning and got covered in little yard stickies. Um, so going back to the land here. So I think you can hear me right. I muted myself for a second. Yeah, I'm just excited to see the kinetics of the land. I'm excited to see how it's going to be different, just compared to our experience at Universal Hollywood. And it's I'm also a little bit worried too about, like, after experiencing this park in a certain way the very first time, just that especially special magical experience walking into that park and seeing that reveal, just that it's going to be different. I'm like nervous about it. It's like if I went to another Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade first and then saw ours here in Orlando, just would that taint it a little bit? Would it be different? Would, like, the fact that I went to another Super Nintendo World make this one feel just not as grand, even though capacity wise and offerings and attractions wise, it is triple the experience from Universal Hollywood? I don't know. Mostly just like, am I going to walk into this land and is it going to feel off? Right? I don't know if that makes sense at all. But just that feeling that I got walking into the land in Hollywood. I don't know. It's not going to be one that I'm going to ever forget because it was so immersive and incredible, and seeing videos and pictures of it just never did it justice until I actually walked into the land. And maybe I will be just absolutely triply overwhelmed by that exact same feeling here. I want this to be my local park, and that's why I think just this entire theme park is going to feel so I don't know, like disconnected and different and foreign in that way, where it's going to be something that I'm not used to because it's a brand new theme park. But at some point I will be so comfortable with this theme park, with these individual lands, and I'm ready to have that experience in Super Nintendo World at Universal Orlando. And I've been staring at this picture just far too long, just fantasizing about being able to just be here and run around. One aspect, I'm going to go back to myself here. One aspect, I've just had this here the entire time. It's so small in Hollywood. It is such a small little space there of land just for guests to walk around. So much congestion. I wonder if they're going to fix that somehow. I don't know how it's going to work with just the entry and exit into these respective worlds, with how you have to go through that portal to get into the land. So I don't know. There's definitely more space here, but if you're trying to find a quiet spot in Super Nintendo World in Hollywood, there is not one that exists to my knowledge. At least when we were there in the, at the beginning of the summer, in the peak of the day. So I hope that there's like just a little bit more space. There won't be, because it's a brand new theme park and it's one of the most anticipated lands of the entire theme park. But maybe one day it'll be a little bit more relaxing of a place to walk around and just to relax, right? Go to eat at Toadstool Cafe, ride Yoshi's Adventure, go hop on the single rider for Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, right? That was the name, I think. And then go ride Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, right? So I'm going to go because I do need to get going to work here in a minute. But thank you to everybody that showed up in the live stream. Sorry about Arlo barking at the front door. He's a dog. It happens. I'm excited to go to Super Nintendo World. I'm excited for what they announced that's new, and then what they did well, what they did right at Universal Hollywood and Japan, and how they're bringing it here. And then using the PowerUp bands. And yeah, it's going to be a fantastic addition to the theme park that we already knew a good amount about because of spoilers and just because of Universal themselves sort of implying that they were building a Super Nintendo experience in Universal Orlando. But we have the announcements, and now it's on to other lands that are very highly anticipated. So we've talked about the Isle of Berk, Super Nintendo World, and I guess, Celestial Park too, technically. So now we just have the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and then Dark Universe, right? The Monsters Land to talk about. That's going to be exciting. I know a lot of people are excited about the Monsters Land, and as of right now, not so much. The mystery entices me, but we will see. We will see what attractions they have for that. At least for these like last couple lands, they seem to announce the first two lands that have the most like outdoor kinetics that will be like spoiled by like aerial photography or whatever first, and now seemingly the last couple lands are going to have like the most indoor, to my knowledge, attractions, right? I think that they have indoor. I think the Wizarding World is indoor, and then I think some aspects of Dark Universe are indoors, maybe. At least from what I've heard. So we'll see. Maybe that stuff will just continue to be a mystery, which I wish it would. And I hope we get a preview center at Universal at some point soon to just really get excited about this and really see these models and just see what this entire theme park, the scope of it, looks like. So I got to get going. Thank you, everybody, for joining the live stream. If you are watching this on the replay, then hello. Thanks for listening. And I did get a haircut recently because my hair was long, but I like it long. But now it's getting very hot, so needs to happen every 6 months or so, right? All right. Thank you, everybody. I will see you soon, and hopefully we can talk about some more Epic Universe, Universal stuff, maybe some Disney stuff if they announce it at some point. Hopefully soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.